All right, so looks like we're diving into MJ DeMarco's The Millionaire Fastlane today.
Sounds good.
You seem pretty interested in his take on wealth building.
Yeah, I am.
So let's unpack some of his ideas,
Okay.
especially those parts you flagged,
Mm-hmm.
like debt,
Right.
teaching others about finances,
Yes.
and whether this book actually, offers any real-world value.
Definitely.
Plus, I think you want to know what W.E. thinks,
I'm
right?
definitely curious to hear your take.
Buckle up. This is going to be
So-
fun.
DeMarco definitely doesn't hold back. His approach can be, well, how do I put this?
Polarizing.
Yeah, polarizing.
Okay, so DeMarco starts with these two paths to wealth,
Okay.
the slow lane and the fast lane.
Right.
I'm guessing you're already familiar with the slow lane.
I think most people are.
It's that classic work hard, save diligently, invest and wait approach.
The traditional route.
DeMarco really tears this approach apart,
He does.
calls it a recipe for mediocrity.
Basically trading your time for limited gains, in his view.
He argues it leaves you with little control and takes forever to see real results.
You're at the mercy of the market and your employer.
Feels like you're stuck on a hamster wheel, doesn't it?
It can, yeah.
You're working, but not really getting ahead.
Spinning your wheels.
DeMarco uses this analogy to illustrate this.
Okay.
It's about two brothers, Azor and Chuma, tasked with building pyramids.
It's a good one.
Really highlights the difference in their approaches.
It does.
Azor represents the slow lane,
Okay.
all about brute force, individual effort,
Right.
just focused on increasing his strength to move those stones.
One stone at a time.
But Chuma, he's different.
A systems thinker.
He's thinking, forget moving these stones one by one, I'm building a machine.
That's the fast lane approach.
That machine is his fast lane system.
Yeah.
That story, I don't know about you, but it really resonated with me.
I can see why.
Makes you question, am I just moving stones in my own life?
Or building something bigger.
Or
Right.
exactly.
Am I building something bigger?
It leads perfectly into DeMarco's alternative.
Yeah.
The fast lane,
So the fast lane, it's all about entrepreneurship,
at its core. Yeah.
building businesses,
Yeah.
creating value for others,
Right.
ultimately scaling for, well, faster wealth creation.
Exactly.
DeMarco emphasizes three key things within this fast lane framework.
Okay.
Leverage, control, and, as you said, creating value for others.
Those are the pillars.
Remember that example from the book
Which one?
about John creating a social networking website?
Oh, yeah, right.
That thing explodes in popularity.
Blows up.
He ends up selling it for a massive payout.
Classic fast lane success story.
That's the kind of rapid wealth creation DeMarco's talking about.
Especially through what he calls liquidation events.
Right, those liquidation events.
Now let's address one of your questions.
Okay.
DeMarco's perspective on debt.
Always a interesting topic.
It can be pretty controversial.
I think most people are told debt is always bad, no question.
The big no-no.
But DeMarco, he has a more nuanced take.
Definitely.
Right.
He sees it as a tool.
Not inherently good or bad, it seems.
All right. It depends how you use it.
It can be beneficial when used strategically.
Like to fuel business growth, for example.
Right, or create systems that generate wealth.
He calls this productive debt.
Okay, so productive debt.
Now, on the flip side, he's totally against what he calls parasitic debt.
Ah, interesting.
This is the kind that funds a lavish lifestyle, keeps you trapped.
Like keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing.
Exactly, that consumerist cycle.
It's like that classic question, right?
Mhm.
Will this purchase own me or will I own it?
A good one to ask yourself before you pull out the credit card.
Yeah.
Is this productive debt pushing you towards your goals?
Or is it just stuff weighing me down?
You also wanted to know about DeMarco's views on teaching others about finances.
Yeah, that was a big one for me. He's super passionate about financial literacy.
But he's got a real issue with what he calls broke know-it-alls.
People who give financial advice but aren't financially stable themselves.
All talk, no action.
Exactly. He emphasizes learning from those who walk the walk.
From those who have achieved success through their actions, not just words.
Right.
He's got this great line in the book.
Let's hear it.
The best quarterbacking advice comes from Peyton Manning, not MJ DeMarco.
Meaning,
Learn from people who are actually out there on the field.
not the ones sitting in the stands.
Exactly.
So, we've laid out some of the fundamentals of the Millionaire Fastlane.
We've only scratched the surface.
But you also wanted to know if we think the book lives up to its hype.
Does it deliver? That's the big question.
Well, I think it's fair to say that DeMarco's style is, well, he's very direct.
He's blunt, Doesn't sugarcoat anything.
No, he doesn't. But that's part of what makes it so refreshing.
Good wake-up call, you know,
Shakes you out of complacency.
for those stuck in the slow lane.
And importantly, he's not just talking theory.
He's actually built his wealth using these principles.
Adds a lot of credibility to what he's saying, don't you think?
Definitely. He's speaking from experience.
Now, it's important to remember that not everything he says is gospel.
Right.
The fast lane might not be the right path for everyone.
It takes a certain mindset, right?
Willingness to take risks, put in the work.
It's not a magic bullet, that's for sure.
But even if you don't go all in on the fast lane, there's value in his message.
Absolutely. It's about taking what resonates with you.
Adapting it to your own situation, your own goals.
You have to think critically, create your own path.
So you're intrigued by the fast lane, but you're probably thinking, how does this actually work? DeMarco lays out this framework. He calls it the wealth equation.
This isn't like some magic formula, though, right?
No, not at all.
More about understanding the principles behind wealth creation.
Exactly. It boils down to two key components.
Okay.
Your net income and your asset value.
Okay, I'm following.
Net income is essentially the profit you're generating.
From your business or investments.
Right. Asset value represents the worth of your assets.
Things like a successful business or income-producing real estate.
Exactly. Now, this is where we see a clear difference from the slow lane.
In the slow lane, you're mostly focused on increasing your intrinsic value, right?
Your earning potential based on your time and skills,
Trading your time for money.
which puts a limit on how much you can earn.
The fast lane, it flips this.
Completely.
Emphasizes creating businesses that generate income.
Independent of your time.
So it's not about how much you earn per hour.
Right.
It's about building systems that work for you.
Even while you sleep, ideally. That's the beauty of it.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that's where asset value comes in.
Right.
DeMarco really stresses building assets that appreciate.
Like a thriving business you can sell, or real estate that generates passive income.
Remember those liquidation events we talked about?
John and his social networking site.
Exactly. A prime example of how the fast lane can lead to big gains quickly.
It's like hitting fast forward on wealth creation.
Compared to the slow and steady approach of the slow lane. But building a business like that, it's not just luck.
No, definitely not.
DeMarco talks about this fast lane mindset you need to cultivate.
Okay, so what's that all about?
Taking ownership, being proactive, and relentlessly focusing on creating value for others. It's a shift from consumer to producer.
So consumers are all about acquiring and consuming.
Chasing that next shiny object.
Producers are driven to create, to build.
To add value.
DeMarco argues the slow lane kind of fosters that consumer mindset.
It does.
You're always working to get more stuff.
The fast lane pushes you to build assets that solve problems.
It's about shifting your focus from what can I get to what can I give.
Exactly.
I like that.
It really gets to the heart of the difference.
He also talks about being event-driven versus process-driven.
Right.
He argues that the slow lane, it's very event-driven.
You're waiting for things to happen.
A promotion, a raise, winning the lottery even.
Hoping for that external change.
The fast lane flips that.
It's about making things happen through consistent action and a focus on process.
Not hoping for the best.
You're creating your own luck.
DeMarco actually outlines a framework for this.
He calls it the fast lane process.
Makes sense.
He breaks it down into 4 stages.
Okay, I'm listening.
Define your goals, identify your road, build your vehicle, and then hit the accelerator.
So it all starts with defining your destination.
What he calls your ultimate destination.
This isn't just about a number in your bank account, is it?
No, it's bigger than that.
It's about the lifestyle you want, the freedom and experiences.
The impact you want to make, defining what wealth truly means to you.
And then working backwards to figure out how to get there.
Right. Once you've got your destination locked in,
You need to find your road.
your business model, your vehicle for getting to that destination,
He's really big on choosing a road that you're passionate about.
something you'll enjoy doing. But it also needs potential for scale and leverage.
This is where those money trees come in.
Businesses that generate passive income.
He called them money tree seedlings, right?
Different business models that can grow into those passive income streams.
Some of the ones he mentions are rental systems, computer systems, content systems.
Distribution systems, even human resource systems.
But they're just seedlings.
No,
aren't they?
exactly. It takes work to cultivate them.
Which brings us to the next stage, building your vehicle.
He compares your business to a car.
It's a good analogy.
If you want to reach your destination, you need a vehicle that's up to the task.
So how do you build a solid business vehicle?
Focusing on the essentials,
A strong...
Strong brand, a unique selling proposition, and delivering exceptional customer service.
You got to build a machine that runs smoothly.
And once that vehicle is built, it's time to hit the gas.
This is where execution comes in.
Taking action, testing ideas, constantly iterating.
DeMarco, he can't stand analysis paralysis.
Overthinking to the point of inaction.
He's all about taking risks, learning from mistakes, and pushing forward.
It's that ready, fire, aim mentality.
Don't let perfection be the enemy of good. But he also emphasizes building a team, right?
Absolutely. You can't do everything yourself.
Surrounding yourself with the right people.
People who complement your strengths.
But the fast lane isn't always smooth sailing, is it?
Not at all. DeMarco talks about the challenges and setbacks you'll face.
What does he call it?
The fast lane resistance.
Those internal roadblocks. Fear, doubt, procrastination.
They can really hold you back.
DeMarco provides strategies for overcoming these.
Staying focused, managing your energy.
Celebrating your successes along the way.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay, so let's go back to one of your questions.
Sure.
DeMarco's take on getting into debt. We touched on it earlier.
The whole productive debt versus parasitic debt
He
thing.
really hates parasitic debt.
Funding a lavish lifestyle, keeping you trapped.
But productive debt, he sees it differently.
As a strategic tool.
To fuel growth, accelerate your path to wealth.
Like taking out a loan to invest in a business.
But he emphasizes responsibility.
It's not about racking up debt for the sake of it.
It's leverage. Amplifying your efforts.
You're also curious about his views on teaching others about finances.
Yeah, he's a huge advocate for financial literacy.
Believes everyone should understand how money works.
But he's also critical of traditional financial advice.
He sees it as outdated and ineffective.
He wants people to think for themselves.
Question the status quo, find alternative perspectives.
Don't just follow the crowd.
Carve your own path. Now, one of your final questions.
Does the Millionaire Fastlane really deliver?
We've gone through the core concepts, the mindset, the process,
It clearly provides a framework for understanding wealth creation.
and actionable strategies for building a business. But remember, success depends on the individual.
DeMarco provides the map. You have to drive.
It comes down to applying those principles, putting in the work.
And the fast lane, it's not for everyone.
Requires risk tolerance, willingness to push boundaries.
But for those who are ready, the Millionaire Fastlane offers a compelling vision.
A financial freedom and a roadmap for achieving it.
Before we wrap up, let's touch on one last thing.
Okay, what's that?
DeMarco talks a lot about creating value for others.
It's at the heart of the Fastlane philosophy.
The most successful businesses solve real problems.
Make people's lives better.
He even calls it the law of affection.
The more lives you impact positively, the more wealth you create.
So it's not about chasing money.
It's about making a difference.
Wealth is a byproduct.
Powerful stuff.
We've talked about the book's ideas, but let's bring it back to you.
Yeah.
Is the fast lane the right path for you?
That's the real question.
And it's a question only you can answer.
Exactly.
But I think the Millionaire Fastlane gives you the tools
Definitely.
to at least start figuring that out.
Absolutely.
It really boils down to a few key questions.
Okay.
First one, how serious are you about financial freedom?
Yeah, we're not talking about just wishing for it.
This is about real commitment.
Putting in the work.
It's like anything else worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be all in.
Definitely.
Second question,
Okay.
does the idea of solving problems, creating value for others,
Mm-hmm.
does that get you fired up?
Because that's the engine
Yeah.
that drives the fast lane.
If you're just chasing money for the sake of it,
Right.
DeMarco would say you're on the wrong track.
Absolutely.
Third question, can you handle the heat?
The fast lane, it's not always a smooth ride.
No, it's not.
Are you comfortable with risk, uncertainty, setbacks along the way?
It's like DeMarco says,
Yeah.
embrace the bumps in the road. They're proof you're moving forward.
I love that.
And the final question,
Okay.
are you a lifelong learner?
Because the fast lane demands growth, adaptation,
You've got to be hungry for knowledge.
always upgrading your skills.
If you can answer yes to all those questions,
Mm-hmm.
then the Millionaire Fastlane might just be your roadmap.
Your guide to unlocking your potential.
It's not about following a rigid set of rules, though.
No, it's about taking DeMarco's principles
Adapting them to your own circumstances.
to your own aspirations.
Thinking differently.
Yeah.
Challenging conventional wisdom.
Creating your own definition of success.
You specifically asked about whether this deep dive was valuable.
Yeah, I am curious to hear what you think.
We've unpacked some of the big ideas from the Millionaire Fastlane,
Definitely.
and we've tried to connect them back to you, your questions, your interests.
Right.
DeMarco's take on debt,
Yeah.
his passion for teaching others about finance,
Mm-hmm.
and whether the book actually delivers on its promises.
Big questions.
But the real value is in what you take away.
Exactly.
What clicked for you?
Right.
What sparks your curiosity?
What are you going to do differently now?
We've given you the tools, the insights.
But it's up to you to build your own fast lane.
That's the beauty of it.
The power is in your hands.
As we wrap up our deep dive into the Millionaire Fastlane, remember, this isn't about finding a shortcut to wealth.
It's
about changing your mindset,
embracing a different approach.
creating a life of purpose and abundance,
Taking control.
building a future you're excited about.
Keep learning.